The National Examinations Council has released the results for the 2024 Senior School Certificate Examination External, which was conducted from November 14 to December 14, 2024. 86,067 candidates registered for the examination, with 84,799 participating. 57,114 candidates, representing 67.35%, obtained 5 credits or more, including English language and mathematics. 70,711 candidates, representing 83.39%, got 5 credits and above, irrespective of English language and mathematics. Several exam supervisors and centers have been recommended for blacklisting. The number of candidates booked for various forms of malpractice is 6,160, as against 8,518 in 2023, which is lower by 27.7%. This will be our focus on Nigeria today. Thanks for joining us. I am Ikaria Clinton. With me in the studio for this conversation is Professor Dantani Ibrahim Wushishi. He's a Registrar and Chief Executive Officer, National Examination Council, NECO. It's a pleasure to have you in Nigeria today.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Nigerians.
Also with us for the conversation is Dr. Philip John Haya. He's an educationist. It's good to have you in Nigeria today.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
I'll start with you, Prof. Just give us your general assessment of this 2024 NECO exam results.
Thank you. The general assessment of the examination for me, from the preparation, that is the pre-examination conduct, to the examination conduct and post-examination conduct, which has to do with marking, assessment of examination malpractice. For me, it's an excellent one, because we, at the end of the day, have a very good results that Nigerians or candidates are sat for the examinations are happy about, and we have reduced cases of examination malpractice compared to what was obtained in 2023. So for me, for both management and staff of NECO, is kudos, because the examination went well.
Now, Dr. Philip, from the educationist point of view, how would you assess this performance?
Yes, there is an improvement in terms of reduction of number, but we still have a high number. If we have 6,000 in the 21st century, I will encourage us to go down. But this, you can't blame the exam body, because the exam body is not responsible for cheating. The exam body tries to stop the cheating. I think the problem is now with us Nigerians, where we are trying to sacrifice merit and then use a shortcut. One thing with education is that if you cheat to get to the top, you might not be able to prove what you have in your papers. So I will encourage that both parents, stakeholders, traditional rulers, the churches, the mosques, we should work harder to make the young people and for external exams, mostly they are senior people anyway, mature students as they are called. We need to get to this point where we believe that hard work pays. Cheating does not, and especially in the educational system, once you cheat somehow, somewhere, somebody will get to know that you are not as qualified as what you claim, particularly when you have a qualification at hand to show.
Now, still on you, Dr. Philip, if we look at the figures, we have 57,114 candidates, representing 67.35 obtained 5 credits or more, including English and maths. What would you say about this? You know, even that last year we had something close to that. Something close to that.
I would say that is that is progress, but we can still do better. That is one thing I believe When we wrote SSCE some 20-something years ago, is it 30? 30. I wrote SSCE in 1994. We didn't have the kind of resources that the people have today. Textbooks were very hard to get, maybe because we come from very poor homes where our parents were not able to buy these textbooks. Today, it's not just a question of textbooks. The internet is available, and most people have smartphones. We can access these textbooks. We can access resources. So if you were to take this era now back to the time I wrote SSC, I'm nearly sure that maybe we would have done better than now. So I do think that our commitment to learning, acquiring knowledge as for the fun of it, you can acquire knowledge just for the fun of it, not to brandish a certificate. We must get to the knowledge economy. And it is the knowledge economy that is driving progress, driving industrialization, driving ideas. We should get to that point. If we're able to do well in the film industry, we're doing well in the skits industry, we can transfer this same creativity and ingenuity to working hard. I don't mind having 80-something%, 90-something% pass. Why can't you even target to get an A? Why should you always get a credit? When the world is moving, you have access to resource, you have access to data in the comfort of your room at home. You can study and get ready for exams and write these exams successfully. So I would encourage, I say it's a pass mark, but I want us to do more. I just want to get to a point where an average Nigerian that you meet that has gone to school will prove that yes, we actually have the endowment in terms of human capacity.
Could also be that there's a lot of distraction now, because back in the days, what you have is just a television and maybe a radio to listen to, but now you have a lot of things. You have TikTok. Anyway, Prof, the reduction in the exam malpractice, even though it's still high, 6,160 as against 8,518 in 2023. What changed? What did you do differently to achieve this result?
First, we have to understand that examination malpractice is a global phenomenon. There is no country, no matter how advanced, that is not having this problem in one way or another. At our own end, we are doing our best to make sure that we maintain quality of the examination in such a way that it is acceptable and reliable within and outside the country, because it's not only within Nigeria that the results of these examinations are being consumed. They are also consumed by institutions outside Nigeria, outside the continent of Africa. So we expect that we continue to improve in ways of mitigating examination and malpractice. We have introduced a lot of measures to curb impersonation. We use biometric devices. We also, on the photo card that candidates take and enter the examination hall with it, we have QR code where you can use your Android to scan the QR code, and you see the details of the candidate, including the image of the candidate, to ensure that it's the same candidate that is entering the hall to write examinations. And we are also taking measures even at the level of certificate, by making sure that the certificate carried an embossed photograph, date of birth, and now NIN that is not mandatory. It is now mandatory. So we are going to using must carry NIN. So the federal government is emphasizing on that. The ministers called us, we met, deliberated, and agreed that NIN must be part of the certificate, or to curb identity theft. So we have also instituted a lot of measures which we cannot, at this level, because it's examination malpractice, some of these measures we wouldn't want to make it public because it is something that is highly confidential. We are using to make sure that we curb malpractice by nabbing those that are involved and trying to see how we can also prosecute those culprits that we have been able to nab. So there are a number of measures. And at the level of recruitment of supervisors, we have introduced software in terms of recruiting supervisors and also swapping supervisors in amidst the examination. During the examination, you can't supervise a particular school to the end of the examination. So we swap examiner supervisors from time to time to curb malpractice. And the emphasis by the federal government now, as we've been discussing with the ministers, is to ensure that at least we migrate to conducting CBE examination, computer-based examination, and we're trying our best to make sure that we migrate. And this examination is one of the examinations we are focusing on, which is not school-based. We have control of the centers, which we can designate where we have infrastructures for candidates to choose those centers where we have infrastructures, for them to be able to now choose those centers, and we administer CBE with them, which we believe will curb malpractice as much as possible, because at the centers there will be a lot of measures too that will be taken to ensure that effective monitoring of what goes on during the examinations at these centers are put in place. So we're doing as much as possible to see that we improve on what we are doing to make sure that we reduce these cases, occurrence of these cases, to the barest minimum.
While we were talking, something came to mind. I know back in the days, we used to hear what they call special centers, where people believe that if they register and they're taken to these centers, that they will do, marvelously well. I don't know centers. What happens in these centers.
Yeah, so they are magic centers, which is not controlled by the examination body, which is not sometimes known by the examination body, but through our intelligence system, we identify some of these centers and also zoom in to these centers to make sure that we nab those that are responsible for malpractice in those centers. Because we use government security operatives during our examinations, plainclothes and uniform clothes security operatives. So, and that is why we have a lot of reductions in this number of cases of magic centers. It's a societal problem. It's a societal problem. And that is why the issue of awareness about the ill of malpractice is very, very important. And I think NTA is also part of us in assisting us to run jingles on the ease of malpractice. And we are also, we used to have collaboration with some agencies, National Assembly particularly, to sensitize stakeholders on the ease of examination malpractice. And all this, we believe, is assisting in the reduction, because we cannot exonerate parents from it, we cannot exonerate school and teachers from it. So awareness of these stakeholders on the ills and also measures to curb them will assist greatly in reducing malpractice. And when we migrate to CBT, this will reduce to the barest minimum.
Thank you very much. Dr. Philip, when he was talking about this exam.
And also in addition, because there are measures too we are taking at the level of the federal government, because we have sat and discussed a lot with the ministers, and some of these measures, just like I said when we release these results. Any supervisor or anyone that is involved in examination malpractice, we are going to blacklist the school, blacklist the supervisors.
We'll come to that,
Okay.
Prof.
Yeah,
We'll come to that so that you tell us more about the blacklisting. I was coming to that.
Okay, okay, thank
now,
you.
Dr. Philip, you talked about exam malpractice. Even though there's been reduction, there's been 27% reduction, we still have 6,160. Why do we keep having this all the time?
Now, going back to our time in school and the narrative of the time, I think narrativity, over time, there's this idea that you can actually cheat your way through.
Now, before you continue, Dr.
Yes.
Philip, you find that the teachers, just like you rightly mentioned, are involved. The parents are not left out. Now, we even have the supervisors themselves, also being part of this whole exam malpractice, the system, becoming a system, So, what really can be done to nip this in the bud?
So my belief is that this sense that you could maneuver your way has pervaded the minds of citizens of our country and citizens of the world, as it has been pointed out, that exams almost everywhere in the world has an element of cheating. But for others, technology has helped, for instance, and the kind of stand positions, because sometimes we say things and we hardly ever do them. So people feel they can do this and get away. When I was an undergraduate in ABU's area, I knew that at that time when we come to write exams, there will be cameramen who were actually the security personnel of our university. They will stay, most of the exams will be written in the hall where you have a large number of people. And once they record, definitely, that those kind of evidence, you can't delete it easily. So once you say you didn't cheat, the camera, the recordings will be there. And to a large extent, during the time of Professor Abdullah Mahdi as the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, exam malpractice was was reduced to the barest minimum, because what the university would do was, once you were caught, most students were asked to leave. You're advised to leave. When you don't leave, at the end of maybe 300 level, you won't find your name on the list. So we have to be firm. And that was what I was saying about narrative. Now, once a society generates a story, narratives actually forms the way we think about ourselves, about our world. So if there is this narrative in society that you can get round without working hard, and people have seen one or two who have actually made it not working hard to the top, they are likely not going to take their work very seriously. So what I believe is that we need to change our perception. The parents who think that their children have to cheat have to change their perception. The teachers who collude to support students to cheat or parents to take money, all this is actually part of the twin evil of bribery and corruption, because if there's a supervisor who is involved in exam malpractice, he or she might be taking money. And this is true for many schools. Now, we have to, as a community, as a society, resist and refuse corruption, particularly when it comes to exam malpractice. People can make it to the top by just working hard, reading their books, studying, and they'll pass the exams without any form of assistance.
Now, back to what we're saying, Prof, you talked about the blacklisting of some centers or some even supervisors. So tell us more about this blacklisting and what will be done after the blacklist. So what next?
You see, when you caught as a supervisor, for example, for poor supervision or for aiding and abetting, we blacklist you. You never be enrolled for supervision again. And we have even gone a step further. When we had meeting with the Ministers of Education, Dr. Tunja Lausa and Professor Swaiba Ahmed, there was emphasis on the fact that any examination body that have pencil supervisors down for malpractice or have blacklisted school, okay, on the issue of malpractice, other examination body will do the same for the same person and school, because we take the same kind of examination. okay, we take the same kind of examination. So this will serve as deterrent for others in terms of other examinations. JAM, for example, NAPTEP, MBIAS, WAEC, all will blacklist. Those will be blacklisted.
Okay, so for instance, if you are involved or you are caught in exam malpractice in NECO exam, for instance, so WAEC also, if you're blacklisted in NECO, WAEC will not allow you to write.
Yes.
NAPTIP also will not allow you.
Yes,
and also
to participate. Will not allow you to participate in such examination. So, because we felt in our meeting with the ministers, we felt there are also supervision is a flashpoint for examination malpractice. And if we are able to do this, we will be sending message to those that are intending to do all these things. And it will serve also as a deterrent for other people that wants to be supervisors of examinations.
Okay. Now, to you, Dr. Philip, of course, you said, okay, it's a whole lot of, it's a system, and everybody, all hands must be on deck to ensure that we nip this particular menace in the bud. Because as much as we look at it and we just, sometimes we just glide over it, it's a serious affair.
It is.
Because it's also weighing down on the quality of education, you know. So, with what role will technology play in all of this? Because the introduction of technology, once we feel that with the introduction of this CBT, that exam malpractice will be a thing of the past, but we still have this. What role?
Yes, technology will help, and it's helping. If you use the NIN and the person has been blacklisted, I do not know if people can do double NIN, but if we don't allow room for double NIN registration, it means the person, wherever they put their NIN number, it will not be allowed. That person stands blacklisted. So if you have a number blacklisted, they may suffer, but then it will help the young people to understand that this is not a path to follow. I would say as a parent that for me, one of the greatest things I've always done with any child that comes under my tutelage, whether my own children or other people's children, is I tell them, you can work hard to the top. You don't have to cheat. Now, let the school also have this thinking. Let the stakeholders have this thinking. All of us will have this thinking. The next few years, the case of exam malpractice will be to the barest minimum, because evil is always going to be here. So we cannot expect that everybody will not be part of. Then we preach and encourage the spirit of hard work. I think once we can get to the point where everybody believes that you can only make it when you work hard, the exams malpractice will reduce, and then the quality of education. Because if you have 9 credits, for goodness sake, and you are given the simplest of tasks to do and you are not able to do, the question is that how did you come about the 9 credits? Then you see the problem does not just affect the person with the 9 credits who is not able to prove that they have the capacity for the number of credits they've got. It affects the image of the entire country, and that is very serious. We shouldn't joke with it, because the more people respect us outside, the better it is for us, and we can fix our system so that we will stand tall in the community of nations.
Exactly, Dr. Philip, because what sense does it make when you have 9 credits and you can't even defend the 9 credits, when they call you to come and show for what you have, the certificate you have, and you can't even defend it. So, Prof, what message would you have for those, the people, of course, that want to write next time, that are nursing the thought of exam malpractice?
Well, we are waiting for them. Yes, because we have Act number 30 of examination malpractice. We are looking forward to implementing such act on those that we have caught red-handed with evidence to prosecute them. Yes, we have instituted a lot of measures like examination intelligence, both within our organization and outside of our organization, with the national security apparatus in place. So we are doing very much well to make sure that this is brought to the BRS minimum, and those we caught red-handed, they should be sure that they will be visiting the court and prisons.
Thank you very much, Professor Dantani Ibrahim Mushishi, the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer, National Examination Council, NECO. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution. And also we have Dr. Philip John Hayat. He's an educationist. Thank you so much for coming and for your contribution. And thank you for being part of the program. Remember, Nigeria Today airs every weekday at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. You can also check out this episode and others on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. Once again, thank you for being there. I'm Ikaria Clinton. Goodbye.